much money they got up in here, they couldn't find a couple dollars? They said no. So this whole bid that they did with Netflix, and you know, when you go to Netflix, you got to search for them. You got to go down like this. You got to type it in. By the time you get there, you uninterested. You done found something else you want to watch. You know what I'm saying? They behind all of the podcasts. Like I said, it was only 5 podcasts that went from iHeart to Netflix as a part of their all-inclusive deal, which means they don't even have say-so. And I know this for a fact. They don't even have say-so on the guests that sit on their platform. Before, they could gatekeep and say, oh, you get to sit with me, I get to sit with you. They have to get written permission from Netflix to invite anybody to their show right now. Whereas before, they could say, hey, come sit down, come sit down. And that's why you didn't see a lot of people that you probably wanted to see on that platform. A, they didn't want to talk to them, and they didn't fuck with them like that. Or 2, they was gatekeeping because at the time, they had the hottest platform out here, right?
Jimmy on the beat, boy.
Let's get high, yeah, you know I'm about to roll. Let's get please, yeah, you know I gotta pull. Let's live life, live once I'm about to turn up. Get fly, oh for sure it's about to go up. Let's get high, yeah, you know I'm about to roll. Let's get please, yeah, you know I gotta pull. Let's live life, live once I'm about to turn up. Get fly, oh for sure it's about to go up. Roll my blunt and pass my lighter.
Alright, so I did a video on Tasha K and Breakfast Club, and there's more things that have transpired. Now, I want to thank you guys for being here like I do always. I would have had this video up last night, but we had another power outage. Come on. How much wind can you just bring through? But then again, we were at 84 degrees yesterday, and by about 8 or 9, it was 40 degrees. Yeah. Wild atmosphere. Perfect atmosphere for, y'all know what I'm saying. Anyways, thanks for being here. I'm done yapping. I want to review and react to some clips, y'all. We're in a very, very, very funny time. Very funny. And before I get into this video, I do want to speak about this Whack 100 Aiden situation. We've seen Whack 100 try to tell people to crash out over things that are less than what the situation is. But here he is being a good old boy. He forgot that he was a member and all of these things that he tells other people that look like him when they're dealing with other people that look like him. He forgets these things when he's dealing with Aiden. Why ain't he crashing out? Why ain't he getting super gangster? Why ain't he Mr. Pyru? Why ain't he none of that stuff that he tells these other people, his own reflections? Why ain't he doing what he tells them to do? Yeah. This whole thing reminds me of patents, old days, and people that couldn't afford patents, and people getting bought out or just having their brands taken from them. Yeah, y'all get where I'm going with it. Let's react and review to some of these Breakfast Club clips, you guys. I'm done ranting. Let's get to the content.
We got an update on the Breakfast Club. So, exclusive. I don't like laughing on nobody's downfall, but laugh at mine when they be thinking I'm falling. I keep on falling. In and out. Listen. So I was doing a press run for my birthday. We have PR now that's part of the team, and their job is when we do events and tours to book press for the winos. So we can let the winos know in each city that we're there. And so you guys saw me all over DC, the DMV, going from radio station to radio station. We did some podcasts. We even did Atlanta. And so I happened to go down to the iHeart headquarters, and you know, you see the Breakfast Club pictures like everywhere. It's like, really? I said, iHeart got some money.
Who let this woman in that area? Who let this woman in that area? And I'm not saying it because I don't mess with Tasha K. I love me some Tasha K. I like what she talks about. I like looking at her. And it's like she's one person that could take off all that makeup and all that stuff and still look appealing to me. I like that woman, period. Anyways, most of all, she's just resilient. Like, she's brave. And she challenges these people. Now, I know I'll be all over the place, but I want to say something real quick. She told us that a certain person was going broke. Then it comes to that present day, and we're hearing about a joint Carter album, a joint tour. Now, I want to say, y'all, this will officially, and I mean officially, and it's just my opinion, but this will officially be the beginning of the downfall of the rapping camel. He's going to be on tour. We're going to see optically that the people don't give a damn about this dude anymore. And once they convey that to the rest of the public, they're going to have their way with dude. But let me let Tasha cook. Let's get to the content.
Look at this. Y'all got money down here. Y'all rich. Yeah, y'all rich. So I'm getting ready to do my interview. And, you know, they had all the iHeart employees in there. And they looked over at me and they said, Tasha. And I said, huh? They said, how you know about that Breakfast Club deal? I said, what you talking about? They said, you been on point. Now, I know where I'm at. I'm at their employers' headquarters. So I said, well, what part you talking about? Can you hear me? Everything okay, Jason? You can hear the back. Okay, calm. Okay, I got on this velour in the springtime. Velour. Shout out to Melissa Lopez. So here's the thing. So y'all should be able to hear me now, clearly. So I said, well, what you talking about? They said, well, you know that we know what happened. I said, so what happened? They said, and I'm going to say allegedly, according to them, I'm not going to leak my source, but I was inside of iHeart. The pictures, I have the pictures. I was there for a few hours, okay? And so they basically said, you were right, Tasha, when you said that iHeart did not renew their contracts. I said, well, tell me more, even though I already knew that from some Black Effect podcasts because people that Charlamagne got signed, you know what I'm saying? And so I already knew that. I said, but tell me more. Because, you know, he put out a whole press release calling me a liar. He said the whole reason for the iHeart, for the Netflix deal was because iHeart refused to allocate money towards their show.
Now, I know I'll be all over the place, but what I was saying in the last clip, y'all, is exactly what was said in this clip. The employees there said that she was on point. And that was after Charlamagne said she was lying. And here it is to see she was on point. That credibility is why I feel like it's going to be the beginning of the end for the rapping camel. And this is allegedly. But they're going to do a number on this dude. A number. And when Tasha K said that they were going broke and this and that, do you believe it now? Now, I do want to say billionaire, millionaire broke is different than regular folk broke, but it's a lessened lifestyle. It's a lessened lifestyle. Things they are used to are going to lessen. If not, be out the picture, period. Just to maintain whatever they can grasp onto. Period. Tasha K, she needs to be careful. I wonder if she has security with her. I'm not talking about homeboy security. I'm not talking about husband security. I'm talking about real security. She's knowing things. These people feel comfortable coming to her and knowing that she'll let them remain anonymous. That's a powerful thing, y'all. To have a huge platform. Tasha really needs to be careful traveling to these places. Like, look, she went in the iHeart building or whatever where the people work that she's talking about. That's what I'm saying. It's a different type bravery with her. But the credibility part is what wins me over. Let's get to the next clip.
I said, all this money they got up in here, they couldn't find a couple dollars? They said no. So this whole bid that they did with Netflix, and you know, when you go to Netflix, you got to search for them. You got to go down like this. You got to type it in. By the time you get there, you uninterested. You done found something else you want to watch. You know what I'm saying? They behind all of the podcasts. Like I said, it was only 5 podcasts that went from iHeart to Netflix as a part of their all-inclusive deal, which means they don't even have say-so. And I know this for a fact. They don't even have say-so on the guests that sit on their platform. Before, they could gatekeep and say, oh, you get to sit with me, I get to sit with you. They have to get written permission from Netflix to invite anybody to their show right now. Whereas before, they could say, hey, come sit down, come sit down. And that's why you didn't see a lot of people that you probably wanted to see on that platform. A, they didn't want to talk to them, and they didn't put them like that. Or 2, they was gatekeeping because at the time, they had the hottest platform out here, right?
Now tell me this, y'all. I don't think they got 200,000 or 200 million. I think just an overall thing with them being paid and budgets for the show and what's allocated to that show, I feel like overall, okay, maybe 200 million. But when you have a successful morning show, a successful YouTube, you own creativity, the creative aspect of that. Is those hundreds of millions worth it? Or would you rather slow grind? I can guarantee you, each and every one of them people affiliated with Breakfast Club feels like they've sold out. We're looking at people that cannot be them anymore. We're looking at people who, they're changed. They followed the money. So when I say that, it's to say this. The people we've grown to like are no more because they've been bought out. We know that their opinions that are expressed might not be genuine and totally them, and so forth and so on. And that'll make it hard to watch. Now, Tasha said a very, 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 very important thing amongst other important things. She stated that just to watch this podcast, you have to go through other podcasts. She said that they've been gatekeeped. And I see it. We're going to buy them out and then we're going to shelf them. And it's going to be like that throughout their tenure of this contract. And throughout this time, who knows who's going to get ushered in to fill that void that people would look forward to every day when they woke up, whether if it was sitting on the toilet before they get ready for work and blah, blah, blah. You want to hear the gossip that happened the day before or whatever. It's no more, y'all. It's no more. Over a few hundred million. And once again, they didn't get that few hundred million, but just overall.
And so, I guess to fill you in on what was said, they said, so basically, iHeart wouldn't allocate funds to them, which means they didn't extend the contract. Now, they have license rights to the audio of the show, but they have literally given Netflix full control over this entire concept. They don't even have control over their concept because we told you last week, 2 weeks ago, that Just Hilarious doesn't even have the IP rights to her Just with the Mess. The thing that got her on. She can't even post that on her Instagram without their permission. She just signed over her little rights per Charlemagne because iHeart, from what I'm being told, okay, by iHeart executives, that they didn't want to pay him. And so in order to appease him, they said, well, Netflix approached us, you can go over here. And that's why at the end of every video that they got, they be like, go to Netflix. You watch Netflix. You always on Netflix. Download Netflix now. Go and watch The Breakfast Club. And it's usually some white woman that got sent down with glasses on that's speaking on flowers and shit that y'all don't know nothing about. But it's The Breakfast Club, remember? Maybe they're going to have the Chick-fil-A owner up on there next time, to kind of go away with the brand. But they don't have no rights. And so next time y'all want to try to come for my brand, you can't say nothing now because Netflix don't even allow y'all to comment unless they tell y'all to comment. So they can't say nothing. Jasmine, ain't no clap back in that Tasha K. Ain't no more calling me no crackhead. Sweaty here. but crackhead. Ain't no more calling that. You can't even call your own show Just Hilarious. You can't even say Just with the Mess without written permission from your bosses that have no experience in the podcast industry at all. Okay? And I'm gonna have to go change this dress. This velour is too hot.
Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. This situation reminds me of a lot of our great inventors. The cotton gin, things to do with the peanuts, just all of these things that were great creations and inventions by our people to make life easier. It reminds me of all of those creations. It reminds me of the U.S. patent system. It reminds me of people that would overtake these patents because our people might have been too poor, or maybe it was a lack of information to go about doing it, but these people went ahead and did it. These are the vibes I'm getting with this Breakfast Club situation. I can't sit here and lie. I can't even, yeah. Anyway, that's the vibes I'm getting, y'all. I'm out. Peace.